Hi guys, so I decided to make some bread this Wednesday. So here we go. I always activate my yeast first. So into the water goes some sugar. Then I'm going to put the fast acting yeast, which to be honest, these days it's not as fast as it used to be. I don't know why, it's just not. So in goes the yeast, and I'm going to stir that around for a few minutes. I'll sing you a song while I'm stirring it. La 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 la. So this is quite a long video, guys. This is about 7 minutes. I don't expect you to watch it all, but this is actually me making bread from start to bake. Oh, I like that, start to bake. So giving it another little mix up just to make sure it's all combined, the water and the yeast and the sugar. And then what we're going to do, I love these little covers. We buy these in about 200s from Amazon, all different sizes, and they're fantastic because you don't have to try and wash these ones, you just use them and chuck them away. They are disposable, they're brilliant. So there's the yeast, it's activated, but not as much as I'd like it to. So here we go, 500 grams flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, which we're going to put in the corner there, out of the way, and then goes our olive oil. It's 3 tablespoons of olive oil. This makes this bread lovely and soft, trust me. So it's just water, yeast, flour, olive oil, salt. Yeah, that's about it. It is so healthy, this bread, and so easy to make, honestly. So in goes my yeast and my water. And all I'm going to do now is mix this up, get it all combined. There we are. I'm going to use one of my lovely green scrapers. They're brilliant, these scrapers. You want to buy, if you do a lot of cooking, buy yourself some of these scrapers. They are fantastic, scraping the bowl, scraping the work surface. They are really good value. So I'm just going to turn the dough out now, and I'm going to give it a good old kneading. You can do this in a mixer with a dough hook if you want, but not everybody's got a mixer. So this is just easy to show you it being done by hand. It just means you got to knead it a little bit more than you could just put it in a mixer and just let it do itself with a dough hook. But yeah, it's not hard work. This, do it at your own pace. Make sure you put a bit of flour on it now. You don't want a sticky dough. You want it nice and like a pizza dough, you know, nice and pliable, but not too much flour that you make it all thick and dry. You don't want to dry it out too much, you know. So we're a little bit more flour on now. We're just going to knead it up before we put it into the bowl. It's going to go in the bowl to prove then. It's a little bit cold in this house today, so I've stuck this in the airing cupboard for about an hour to prove. Just kept going back and checking it, and I think it was just over an hour before it was ready to bring it down and do the next stage to it. So here we are, giving it the final kneading. This is very therapeutic. Take you frustration out on the dough. So now we finished kneading the dough. We're going to put a bit of flour in the bowl. Yeah, I'm using the scraper just to scrape it all down. No need to take this out, just put it on the bottom because it'll just join up with the rest of the dough anyway. Bit of flour on the bottom, pop the dough in, bit of flour on top, and that cover that we used for the yeast should just stretch nicely over this bowl. Look at that. So into the airing cupboard it goes, and an hour later, out it comes. Look at that, doubled in size. Oh yes. So we're going to knock it back. So basically we're just taking it out of there and we are knocking all the air out of it. And a lot of people will give it a second proving. They knock it back. They'll give it a bit of kneading, and then they put it back in the bowl and let it rise for a second time. It's entirely up to you which way you do it. I'm just doing it the one method. I've knocked it back once here. I'm now moulding it into my loaf. I'm not going to put it in a tin today. I'm just going to put it on this tray with a silicone cover on it. These are fantastic for baking because you don't have to grease the tray or grease the tin. You literally put it straight on that silicone mat on the tray. So gonna do a bit of what would I call this now? Like a Swansea loaf. There we are, a Swansea loaf, not a Schlefly loaf. We're gonna call it, this is like a Swansea loaf. So it's just, there we are, rolling it up into like a sausage. Do it so that it's nice and tight. Not too tight, but as tight as you can get it, like that. There we are, onto the tray it goes. We're gonna cover that now and leave it for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes till it doubles in size. And put a bit of flour on top of it. When we come back, this should have doubled in size, ready to go in the oven. And as if by magic, here we go, on goes the cloth, and now off comes the cloth, and there it is, doubled in size. So I'm just going to give it a couple of slices with a knife. Be careful if you're doing this. I've always found that a Stanley blade is the best thing for doing it. I'm just going to cut through the top of it. And then that'll open nicely when it's in the oven. A little bit more flour on top of it before it goes into the oven. There we go. And then into the oven, and we can have a little look. It's a little way, it's halfway through the baking. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. And now we're ready to take it out. So we're going to take it out of the oven, turn it upside down, and the best way to check if this bread is baked is to bang it on the base with your hand and with your fingers, sorry. Bang it with your fingers, and if it sounds hollow, there we are, it sounds hollow, you can't hear it, but it is hollow, and that is perfectly baked. And here is our loaf. So it's from start to bake. And there it is, Baking with Keith. Thanks guys, please like and share, and see you for the next baking video.